A magnetic person is someone who naturally attracts others, someone whose mere presence captivates and draws people in. Even if they don't fit into conventional standards of beauty, there's something about them that stands out. Who wouldn't want to be that kind of person? In this video, we're going to dive into your magnetism. Is your magnetism working in your favor, or is it inverted? People will treat you based on how you treat yourself. That's why it's so crucial to prioritize yourself first before giving to others. You can only offer what you already have. For example, if you want to give love, you must first feel love for yourself. Loving yourself may seem complicated, but it's really about standing by your side, being your own company. Many say, Daphne, he left me, she left me, and now I'm alone. But are you truly alone? Aren't you still with yourself? You're not hollow. You don't need someone else to be complete. You are a presence in your own life. Once you start recognizing yourself as a presence, everything changes. You can acknowledge your struggles, yet also be the one to bring peace to yourself. You no longer feel abandoned. People who feel abandoned often depend on others for comfort or guidance, constantly seeking external validation. They may use their body to move through life, going to work, organizing things, but when it comes to emotional matters, they feel lost. They haven't learned to be their own company, to feel themselves as a presence. So they might watch a movie alone and think, I should be watching this with someone else, because they don't know how to enjoy their own company. They're constantly in search of something external, believing they are their thoughts, their needs, without realizing they can observe these needs as separate from themselves. This abandonment also shows up in compulsive behaviors, overeating, drinking too much, or addiction. When needs arise, they feel compelled to act on them because they don't see themselves as separate from their impulses. But when you learn to be a presence for yourself, you start regulating your life. You no longer act on every impulse. If your life has been about using your body to achieve things, you're likely either dealing with compulsions or loneliness. These are signs of abandonment. When a negative thought comes up, you embody that thought. When a feeling of longing arises, you become that feeling. But imagine if, instead, you could observe these sensations without identifying with them. You'd say, yes, these things are happening in my mental, emotional, or sensory field, but I'm here for myself, observing them. Most people only reach this level of awareness after going through something intense like an illness, which forces them to separate their sense of self from their body. Without this separation, they believe they are their body, their mind, or their emotions. If you can't develop this higher consciousness, you remain abandoned, always in need of others. And when you're constantly pulling from others, what do you think happens to your magnetism? It becomes inverted. When your magnetism is inverted, you start absorbing the energy of others. If someone anxious comes near you, you immediately feel anxious too. Your energy field is constantly reaching out, pulling in from the environment, and eventually you feel drained. That's because your energy is focused on external validation, and the more you pull in, the more people will distance themselves from you. A healthy magnetism, on the other hand, radiates outward. That's why certain people are described as beings of light. They shine. Their magnetism moves from within, radiating from their heart and solar plexus out into the world. These people have an abundance of love, confidence, and presence to give. When someone radiates like this, they don't need others to validate their worth. They're attractive not because of their appearance, but because their energy is irresistible. So how do you cultivate this healthy, outward-focused magnetism? Remember, you're always there for yourself. You are your own person. Even if you're physically alone or haven't been in a relationship for years, you're still with you. And when you can observe your thoughts and emotions from a distance, you become a higher consciousness, no longer trapped by impulses or negativity. Developing this sense of presence is a daily practice. It's about recognizing that you're your own best friend and constant companion. When you do this, you'll find that everything in your life begins to align. Many people comment on how much they're enjoying the channel, praising it, saying this and that, and it's great. But then they add, however, this part is really hard. I don't think I can do it. It's very difficult for me. It's something deeply ingrained in me. It's so tough to work on. And I tell them, guys, it's not hard. It's just work. You've been working hard for the last 20, 30, 40, or even 50 years. I don't know how old you are, but probably all this time you've worked on not being here for yourself. You've never realized that you were meant to be a presence for yourself, right? We don't learn that. We're taught that we have to rely on other people, that we have to tell everyone what we need. We're taught that our parents are supposed to be our foundation, the ones supporting us. But at some point, our parents might need support too. There's a metaphor I love to use. Imagine the whole world, and imagine we could see each person's house, every single person on the planet and their little house. So what happens? Imagine I'm in my house and I think, wait a minute, my neighbor probably needs help. I'll go to my neighbor's house because I need to help them. Isn't that how we were taught? So I go to my neighbor's house, but when I get there, the house is empty. Why? Because my neighbor said, wait, I have to go help my neighbor, and so on, until in my house, there are a bunch of people trying to do things for me, trying to guide me, or even with good intentions. But my house is full of other people. There's stuff from my dad saying I had to succeed in life and be a certain way. There's stuff from my mom saying I had to be sweeter, more friendly, that I couldn't be like this. There's stuff from my relationship saying I had to meet the other person's expectations. There's even stuff from my fourth grade teacher. It could be so many things, but I'm not there. Have you ever thought about that? Are you really there fully? Or are you just a shelter for a bunch of invasions? Like I said, these could be well-intentioned invasions, but still they are invasions. Do you even know if this is really you? Do you know if this is part of your true nature? So to heal your magnetism, to become an authentic person, clean from the world's clutter, and to be yourself, what do you have to do? You've got to inhabit your house. As tempting as it may be, you spend every day in your neighbor's house. As tempting as it is, you're always there, dedicating yourself to others, helping others. It's tempting because it feels good, right? It feels good to do that. Our soul does crave it. But if you're feeling abandoned, if you're feeling like you don't have your own presence, like you don't have you, what can you truly do for others? You'll be someone with inverted magnetism. You'll go help someone, and before you know it, you won't be able to do much. Or you'll put in a lot of effort, and when you look again, you've taken on more of that person's burden. Sometimes the other person may feel better, but you're left drained. That kind of magnetism, that kind of help is useless. It's useless. That's why it's so important to take care of your house. How? By being consciously present. A thought crosses your mind. Stop and check. If this thought is good, I'll keep it. If it's not, I won't. Simple as that. But you have to be realistic, they'll say. And the thought comes, look, you're full of yourself, lower your expectations. Then you feel like you have to listen to it and say, yeah, I really should lower my expectations. No, if you're not feeling like you're full of yourself, if you're feeling good, why let a thought come along that wants to bring you down? That thought came from somewhere that isn't you, but we weren't taught that. We were taught to listen to everything that enters our mind, and that's how we end up with a house full of invaders. So if you want to be an authentic, interesting, magnetic person, sure, YouTube is full of videos saying, do this, do that, teaching you all sorts of little tricks, right? They'll teach you games, and if you're a good player, you might get some results. But do you want results, or do you want to feel good? Because if you feel good, the results come naturally. You won't need to constantly check a manual on how to seduce, how to attract, or how to impress. Your very nature will captivate. Now, that's the kind of person who's truly magnetic. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. Practice this, over the week, the month, throughout your life, work on flipping your magnetism. And drop a comment about any experience you've had, maybe a day when you were getting a lot of attention and you realized you were calm, relaxed, at peace. It's hard, guys, to tear yourself down saying, oh, I'm ugly, I look awful, I'm terrible, I shouldn't even leave the house, and still attract positive attention from everyone. Maybe you get attention if you're wearing a low-cut shirt, or in a guy's case, some outfit that highlights an attractive feature. Sure, that might get attention, but it's never because of your true nature. And that's what we're after here. We want to be interesting, seductive, and captivating in a natural, spontaneous way. So let's work on that magnetism, being conscious of your presence and that higher self within you that observes the world but chooses what to let in or not. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope these ideas were helpful and gave you practical ways to improve your life. If you think someone you know could benefit from this information, share the video. By spreading these tips, we can reach more people and inspire positive change. Every step counts, and sometimes a simple tip can make all the difference in someone's life. See you soon, and take care.